place. True, there had been drawbacks in this particular house he had chosen, but he need not live in a house where there was a Mr. Holt, and he should no longer be tied to the profession which he so much hated. If there were neither screams nor scripture readings, he could be happy in a garret at 3 shillings a week, such as Miss Maitland lived in. As he thought further, he remembered that all things work together for good to them that love God. Was it possible, he asked himself, that he too, however imperfectly, had been trying to love him? He dared not answer yes, but he would try hard that it should be so. Then there came into his mind that noble air of Handel's, "Great God, who yet but darkly known," and he felt it as he had never felt it before. He had lost his faith in Christianity, but his faith in something, he knew not what, but that there was something as yet but darkly known which made right right and wrong wrong. His faith in this grew stronger and stronger daily. Again there crossed his mind thoughts of the power which he felt to be in him, and of how and where it was to find its vent. The same instinct which had led him to live among the poor because it was the nearest thing to him which he could lay hold of with any clearness, came to his assistance here too. He thought of the Australian gold and how those who lived among it had never seen it though it abounded all around them. "There is gold everywhere," he exclaimed inwardly, to those who look for it. Might not his opportunity be close upon him if he looked carefully enough at his immediate surroundings? What was his position? He had lost all. Could he not turn his having lost all into an opportunity? Might he not, if he sought the strength of the Lord, find, like St. Paul, that it was perfected in weakness? He had nothing more to lose. Money, friends, character, all were gone for a very long time, if not forever. But there was something else also that had taken its flight along with these. I mean the fear of that which man could do unto him. Cantabil vacus. Who could hurt him more than he had been hurt already? Let him but be able to earn his bread, and he knew of nothing which he dared not venture if it would make the world a happier place for those who were young and lovable. Herein he found so much comfort that he almost wished he had lost his reputation even more completely, for he saw that it was like a man's life, which may be found of them that lose it, and lost of them that would find it. He should not have had the courage to give up all for Christ's sake, but now Christ had mercifully taken all, and lo, it seemed as though all were found. As the days went slowly by, he came to see that Christianity and the denial of Christianity, after all, met as much as any other extremes do. It was a fight about names, not about things. Practically, the Church of Rome, the Church of England, and the Free Thinker have the same ideal standard and meet in the gentleman, for he is the most perfect saint who is the most perfect gentleman. Then he saw also that it matters little what profession, whether of religion or irreligion, a man may make, provided only he follows it out with charitable inconsistency, and without insisting on it to the bitter end. It is in the uncompromisingness with which dogma is held, and not in the dogma or want of dogma, that the danger lies. This was the crowning point of the edifice. When he got here he no longer wished to molest even the Pope. The Archbishop of Canterbury might have hopped about all round him, and even picked crumbs out of his hand without running risk of getting a sly sprinkle of salt. That wary prelate himself might perhaps have been of a different opinion, but the robins and thrushes that hop about our lawns are not more needlessly distrustful of the hand that throws them out crumbs of bread in winter than the Archbishop would have been of my hero. Perhaps he was helped to arrive at the foregoing conclusion by an event which almost thrust inconsistency upon him. A few days after he left the infirmary, the chaplain came to his cell and told him that the prisoner who played the organ in chapel had just finished his sentence and was leaving the prison. He therefore offered the post to Ernest, who he already knew played the organ. Ernest was at first in doubt whether it would be right for him to assist at religious services more than he was actually compelled to do, but the pleasure of playing the organ, and the privileges which the post involved, made him see excellent reasons for not riding consistency to death. Having then once introduced an element of inconsistency into his system, he was far too consistent not to be inconsistent consistently, and he lapsed ere long into an amiable indifferentism, which to outward appearance differed but little from the indifferentism from which Mr Hawke had aroused him. By becoming organist he was saved from the treadmill, for which the doctor had said he was unfit as yet, but which he would probably have been put to in due course as soon as he was stronger. He might have escaped the tailor's shop altogether, and done only the comparatively light work of attending to the chaplain's rooms if he had liked, but he wanted to learn as much tailoring as he could, and did not therefore take advantage of this offer. He was allowed, however, 2 hours a day in the afternoon for practice. From that moment his prison life ceased to be monotonous, and the remaining 2 months of his sentence slipped by almost as rapidly as they would have done if he had been free. What with music, books, learning his trade, and conversation with the chaplain, who was just the kindly sensible person that Ernest wanted in order to steady him a little, the days went by so pleasantly that when the time came for him to leave prison he did so, or thought he did so, not without regret. End of chapter 68. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.